Coming up, President Biden is meeting with House and Senate leaders today as there is a divide in Congress on how to handle the country's debt as a potential default looms. And migrants in El Paso who entered the country illegally are facing deportation today in a Border Patrol crackdown. The operation coming just days before the expiration of Title 42. The Daily Rundown starts now. This is Straight Arrow News, bringing you unbiased, straight facts. I'm Kara Rucker. Happening today, President Biden, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, and other congressional leaders will hold a meeting to discuss the nation's debt. The meeting comes as the U.S. could default on its debt within a matter of weeks if there's no action from Congress. This will be the first time since February that Biden has sat down with McCarthy to discuss an issue that could have a devastating impact on the U.S. and global economy. For months, there's been back and forth between the two parties, Democrats wanting a standalone action to raise the debt ceiling, while Republicans say they are willing to raise the debt ceiling only if it's accompanied by major budget cuts to slow spending. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has been personally calling CEOs and business leaders to warn them of potential consequences if the nation is forced to default on its debt. The current debt ceiling is $31.4 trillion, which the U.S. hit its limit back in January and has since implemented emergency measures. That safety net now only able to hold for maybe another month.
There shouldn't be negotiations on the debt limit. This is something that they should get to regular order and get to work on. That's what the president's going to make very clear with the leaders tomorrow. Congress must avoid default without conditions, as they did 3 times before in the last administration.
Happening today, Border Patrol agents and officers from Immigration and Customs Enforcement will be apprehending migrants in El Paso, Texas, who entered the U.S. undetected and without proper processing. Those found without U.S. government documents in El Paso could be expelled under Title 42, which will expire in just 2 days. The migrants caught in the operation could also be placed in regular deportation proceedings and released with a notice to appear in court. El Paso, Texas has experienced an influx of migrants in their city, with thousands of them sleeping on city streets as shelters filled up. When Title 42 expires Thursday, the numbers are expected to increase amid depleted resources. A Texas Uber driver who shot and killed a Black Lives Matter protester in the summer of 2020 will be sentenced in court today. And while Daniel Perry faces up to life in prison, Texas Governor Greg Abbott has already initiated the process to issue a pardon. Perry was driving down a street that was blocked by crowds of BLM protesters. That's when Perry says Garrett Foster, a protester, pointed a rifle at him. Perry says he fired his own gun at Foster in self-defense. A jury disagreed and convicted him of murder. The Texas panel over pardons has begun an immediate review of Perry's case at the direction of Governor Abbott, who says he looks forward to signing the pardon once it hits his desk. Perry's sentencing hearing is expected to last up to 2 days.
Today, civilization is once again at a crucial turning point. A real war is once again being waged against our homeland. But we have fought back against international terrorism. We will also protect the people of the Donbass and ensure our security.
Russia is holding its annual Victory Day celebration today, commemorating the defeat of Nazi Germany in World War II. President Vladimir Putin taking to the occasion to address what he calls a real war being waged against Russia by the West. The country scaled back on its celebration this year with mass events canceled over security concerns. The marches held were largely a showcase of Russia's military, parading ballistic missile systems and tanks throughout the streets of Moscow, but in a smaller scale than previous years. Just hours before Putin blasted Western elites, dozens of cruise missiles were fired at Ukraine, most of them intercepted by Ukrainian air defenses. Russia first invaded Ukraine 14 months ago. China has ordered the expulsion of a Canadian diplomat in Shanghai, telling the diplomat to leave China by the end of this week. The decision comes as a response to Canada moving to expel a Chinese diplomat on Monday over allegations he was intimidating a Canadian politician.
And we all want to make sure that we protect Canadians across the country and abroad. As a parliament, we have a position which is important, which is always part of Canada's DNA, which is to call out situations and violations against human rights, including in China, which is an important player on the world stage.
The tit-for-tat marks a new low in the two countries' deteriorating relationship. Canada has rising concerns about Chinese influence in their country, from security concerns to suspected meddling in elections. Canada accused a Chinese diplomat of intimidating a politician's family in Hong Kong after the politician publicly called out China over its forced labor camps and human rights abuses. China accused Canada of slander and defamation over the claims Beijing targeted the politician's family and said it could further retaliate against Canada over their diplomat's expulsion. Twitter is purging accounts on its platform that have been inactive for several years, a move that will free up a lot of usernames or handles that are taken by users who don't even use the social media platform. It's been something Twitter CEO Elon Musk has been wanting to do ever since he took over the company. Musk said as a result of the purging out of old accounts, users could see a drop in follower count, since any of your followers who don't use Twitter will be deleted out. These are your top stories. Thanks for watching the Daily Rundown. We're on a mission to bring back trustworthy journalism by serving only you, not an agenda. Be sure to check out more of our work at straightarrownews.com. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Until then, I'm Kara Rucker. Have a great day.